Hey, this is my third entry into my meta vlog, where I talk about my experiences, metaphysics, philosophy, astrology, occultism. Thanks for joining me. It's February 22nd. Um, I'll jump right into it. I think 2 days ago, I was I was sitting outside meditating on my carport, and it's nighttime, and I was drawn to my crown chakra. I go to this place pretty easily, my inner self, and my third eye. My crown chakra was pulling me, so I was like, okay. The last time that I had ever seen anything around my crown chakra was around 2 or 3 years ago. I had started seeing, wings above my crown chakra, above my head. Uh, Around this time, I started to get interested in that Egyptian goddess. I can't remember her name. Isis. And on my first blog, I had written an entry because I had seen Isis wings um, in my lungs and my heart chakra, which is really interesting to me because I brought that to Rudolf Steiner and his archive, and I looked up uh, lungs to see if he had ever said anything about lungs, and he did, and he correlated them um, to the so-called ISIS energy. Needless to say, that safeguards me and that it keeps my mind safe from like feeling like, oh God, I'm a retard. This is all made up and I'm crazy. Um, if nothing more, then there's two people across a century who are both crazy and share experiences. Anyway, um, so I was drawn to my crown chakra, and I had started seeing or I already knew what to do because I know the associations. I know that um, the crown chakra is our connection to spirit because I had figured that out when the moon was in Pisces, which is a sign of connectivity. And I was drawn to connect with my heart and my inner self, and I kind of became conscious of like the whole idea of guardian angels and stuff. So I was like, okay, this sign connects me to spirit. And I got the idea because of how that felt to turn the original Pisces symbol, which is horizontal, 90 degrees upward into a vertical angle so that it would represent me on earth and the angel in heaven, symbolically speaking. Hashtag occultism. Uh, um, so my intuition told me, I didn't see this, but my intuition told me that I'm in my crown chakra. Think about stars. Think about constellations, stars. And then what my third eye does is it hones in on a thought and then it opens up an image, and then I try to logicalize what I'm seeing. So I started to see stars, feeling them in my crown chakra, not my heart. And I said to myself, okay, now I'm starting to see that the stars are like milky, watery, soothing. I get this picture of a seashore. The sand. It's not hard, but it is hard. It's not wet, but it is wet. And it's just really soothing. Like you're just able to melt away. And that's what a star does. That's what the light in the star does. Okay, got it. So now I look at the space around the star in my mind's eye. And I'm thinking, okay, this is the abyss. This is where mystery comes from. Angels are mysteries. They're the revealers of the mysteries. Well, ding dong, that connects me to the messenger concept of Yesod in Kabbalah, and which connects to the moon. And that tells me, okay, that affirms Gabriel's the moon messenger. He's just the messenger. And those messages always come from the depths of our being. Whether it's the Jungian self or Eckert's ground of the soul. And I'm realizing this sort of dual trait, I guess, of the light and the dark, of the star and space. Of course, I know that space connects to Saturn. I don't know if you know this, but the space element corresponds to the throat chakra. Of course, the planet of space, you might think that it would be Jupiter. Well, the thing is, look at Jupiter's symbol and look at Saturn's symbol. They're reflections of each other in opposition. So they do share, I believe, the same angel. They're like a Janus in that they share like two faces on the same body. So in a sense, Jupiter does promote open space. You can think of the open ranges that the horses run on, gallop. Or you can look at the space in between the ring and the planet, Saturn. So I could see that some people might say that Jupiter would be corresponding to the throat chakra. But I believe that it corresponds to Saturn for the reason that Saturn affirms the space of thinking, the space of thoughtfulness, rather than the space of expression, which is Jupiter. Because, of course, the throat is where you think at. Steiner says it. It's obvious because you deliberate. If you look at people who speak off the cuff, they tend to be ADHD, they tend to be tic associated, they tend to be, in rare exceptions, actually good. I would say that Don Rickles would be a great example of somebody who just speaks off the cuff. He's a comedian, he makes people laugh. But typically with thinking and with speaking, you want somebody who speaks deliberately. Not necessarily like me. I'm finally coming back into myself because of this activation. And we can get back into that. So with the crown chakra, you have the I am element, or really sometimes it's expressed as the chakra without an element. Maybe the non-elemental chakra or the consciousness chakra. So what it does is it brings you into the I am concept. It asks you to ask yourself, who am I? And there's an energy behind that. There's an energy to the thinking process, the discovering process, and the becoming process, which is fundamental, I believe. The becoming, the limitless potential of Dion Fortune and her Kabbalah book, or the Ein Sof, really, if you know Kabbalah, the limitless light, the Ein Sof, and it brings you into the space, not of the Capricornian Saturnine space of like the David Lynch paradox or the Janus paradox of like the Twilight Zone, but like the space of just pure becoming. This takes me to the stars that I had seen.